Hi everyone, I just wanted to share with you my newest project inspired by the flight test FT Slinger. Alright, so my daughter was pretty obsessed with planes like I'm sure most of everyone else's kids is, and I decided to see if I can actually make a flyable one on the UMX kind of the micro type scale. So I got some extra spare parts that I had around. I had a spare fuselage for a Spitfire, the original P-51 wing, and aileron. And I cut that wing in half, as you can see there. And I'll show you a reason why. So what I had was basically my daughter's die-cast Disney toy of what Ripslinger would look like. So I kind of based my design slightly off of that. So I went ahead and started shaping out the wing. Kind of a little hesitant to see how much I was going to go ahead and take off, so I ended up cutting the wing in half in order to make sure that the trailing edge of the wing was nice, flat, and flush as the original Ripslinger. And I actually cut down the front to have that straight swept edge. So you can see that this is kind of the finished product of me cutting down the wing. Did lose some lift to that, but and I think it was worth it for the look. I'll be test flying it in the next video, and I'll let you know exactly how detrimental those results were. I also cut down the aileron, or correction, the elevator as well, in order to make it look like a Ripslinger, and I actually had to sand down the top half behind the canopy and take the canopy off in order to get it more of a flatter shape as Ripslinger did. I guess the Spitfire is a little bit more rounded off to the top. So I had to go ahead and fill in the eyes of Ripslinger, so I actually had some extra foam to build up that void where the cockpit was. Ended up, in this picture you can see that I ended up putting some filler in there, which I eventually would sand off, and I actually had to create my own rudder since I wasn't able to find a rudder that I was able to cut down to size, and you can see that the rudder is installed there. Alright, this is how it looks when it's sanded. Got the shape and the form that I liked. See the tail right there. The Ripslinger that from the cartoon actually had the tail, had a point at the end of it. The big thing that makes Ripslinger, I think, the plane is how you do those intakes, or kind of like the nose section. So I started off with these two intakes. Try to do it to scale to what the toy looked like. They looked pretty big, but ended up sanding them down and putting some filler on the edges so it looked like it was seamless. Use this kind of as another way to kind of gauge to how long and how big these need to be. It is nearly impossible, I think, to find a picture of Ripslinger out there in the internet that isn't anything other than his forward quarters. This is the only one that I could see like as a side aspect of it. I kind of use this kind of as the basis to make decals later on, and I'll show you that. Alright, so this is where everything's sanded down in the first coat of paint. Another pain in the neck was actually finding the right type of green in order to match what Ripslinger would look like. With this, it took me about an hour and 3 different greens mixing it together before I got the final color situated. Alright, so now that I got the final color situated, I also put the black, and I think I got a pretty near perfect match, or a match that I was satisfied with, and to continue on. So you can see this is how the body looks. Also, one of the things that the Ripslinger, the movie actually had the engine exhausts underneath the actual intakes as well. So I went ahead and used the original intakes that were on the Spitfire, and I cut into those scoops to put the exhaust on the bottom. Then I went ahead and free-handed the checkered pattern. Now the funny part is that every single picture of Ripslinger has checkered patterns slightly off from each other. So I went a little bigger in order for the ease of it, and I freehanded it as well. And then later on I went back to touch it up. But I think it came out alright. I was pretty happy with the results. You can see over here I basically did it light in pencil and went about and painted it. So this is kind of the finished product, side by side. In this case the wings aren't attached just yet. Alright, this is where I started putting decals on here. So what I did for the decals was I took detailed pictures of the toy and actually blew up the pictures on a Photoshop and actually cut or cropped what I needed, and then I printed these out on decal paper, and then I put them on the model itself, and I painted over the edges to make it look like it was seamlessly adhered to the body. Different aspects of that. See the eyes. Alright, and this is Ripslinger as she is now. Still in the process of putting on the decals, as you can see. Alright, I finished up the aft end of the decals, but I still haven't done the tail yet. The wing is completely glued on now, but I've done no work on the underside yet. You can see where I've cut that in half in order to make the wings fit. I put a magnetic latch. There's little small earth magnets, about 6 of them total, on the inside of the hatch in order for this to go in. And I still haven't put any electronics in here. I'm looking to possibly use the original Spectrum bricks that came with the airplanes that were out there in order to be able to put a brushless motor. I don't believe the UMXs have the same capability as the originals to actually use brushless motors. So you can see I still have some touch-up work to do. A lot of the painting was freehand, so the obviously the checkers and that little red stripe on the side. So hopefully by next week I'll have this flying and I'll put some video out there, and I hope it'll fly well. So we'll see, but it looks like it's coming out pretty decent. I'm not going to do a counter rotating propeller. I'm going to probably using an AP05, very small brushless motor with the 4-bladed prop, and hopefully that should give it some pretty decent speed. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I also have a build blog up here on flight tests and also the RC groups if you guys are interested. And I'll go ahead and post the flight video as soon as I'm done. Thanks, bye.